What's up guys, Bob Buskirk here at ThinkComputers, and today we're going to be doing our installation here on Enermax's Ostrog GT case. And we have our system and all of our components all ready to go. We have a Z77 motherboard full on with CPU cooler and our memory. We have a 1000 watt power supply. We have a normal 3.5 inch SATA drive. We have a 2.5 inch solid state drive. Our optical drive is a Blu-ray drive, and we are using a Radeon HD 6950 for our video card. So let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is install your motherboard. Enermax has included standoffs and they are pre-installed, which of course saves you time. Now, one of the big things that I mentioned in our overview video of this case was that Enermax provided a really large cutout for your CPU power cable, which is this hole right here. Now, I did that overview video pretty quickly and I really didn't realize that when you install your motherboard, that hole is completely covered. All motherboards are the same size as far as where they start at the top here. So I, again, have no clue how Enermax could have overseen this. I mean, when you install a motherboard, it covers the hole. The hole is pretty much useless after that. Again, I have no clue how Enermax could have even gone through R&D and saw that that was a good idea to put the hole there. I don't even know why it's there. It just doesn't make any sense. And it makes you think that you're going to have enough room to install your CPU power cable, but you're not going to have any room whatsoever. But we'll go ahead and put our motherboard in here. And looking at all of our holes, they line up perfectly, which is nice. We don't have to, move our motherboard around to go ahead and, install it or anything like that. All of the holes line up perfectly, so we're just going to go ahead and secure it with screws. Hard drive installation is pretty easy. 3.5 inch hard drives, you'll use a toolless system, which is extremely easy to do. So you take your drive here and you take the little rails and they pretty much just clip in just like that. You want to make sure they are kind of tight on there and that they are all the way in. Same thing on this side. Just press them in there, make sure they are tight, and we take our drive here and we just nicely slide it in, and you can hear it lock right into place. Now, 2.5 inch drives, we have our hard drive cage that was on the bottom right here. I've simply removed it by taking out these 4 thumb screws. Again, very easy to do. We have our 2.5 inch drive, and you can go ahead and install this. The drive kind of just slides in here, and then you will be able to screw it in on the sides actually, which I'm going to try to show you here. Just like that, and you're going to go ahead and secure it on the sides. Now that I have installed my 2.5 inch drive in the cage, I've actually moved the cage from here up on top of this drive cage. I've completely removed the other drive cage, and this allows you to just make more space inside the case, especially if you have a longer power supply or something like that. Now, it can only be placed with the drives either facing this way or this way. I would have liked it seeing the same orientation as these cages, so we can have the all of our cables and everything sort of out of the way, but you can't do that. Optical drive installation is actually really easy. What you're going to do is you want to take your optical drive. Of course, you want to remove one of the front bay covers, which I've already have done, and we go ahead and slide our drive in. As we slide our drive in, it will actually move this lever over. You heard that click? It's actually moving this lever over to lock. What we're actually going to do is we're going to push this all the way in, and it's going to go all the way in. So it can't go anymore. And it's still in the lock position, so if we move it, we can actually not move it at all. No relocking or anything, it automatically locks itself. Now if you want to remove it, all you have to do is press this back over to unlock, and we can go ahead and take it completely out, push it back in, all the way back, and now you can see we can't move it whatsoever. Power supply installation should be, again, very easy. There's not a lot here. There is this small little lip right here that you're going to want to, get your power supply under. But let's just go ahead and try to put it in and see how well it works. So we go ahead, get our power supply in here, get it under the lip, and of course we're going to want to move it back. And now you see all this cable mess where, of course, we're going to route all of our cables. We're going to also secure it on the back with screws, and then go ahead and install our video card and wire everything up. As you can see, we pretty much have everything done. Everything is installed. I had no problems installing my video card. It fit well, and it uses a normal screwless system, so there isn't any issues there. As far as the CPU power cable, there is a hole up top here, a smaller one. It is kind of hard to route it through there. I would have liked to use a bigger one, but of course that gets covered up by your motherboard. This hard drive cage down here, when I was talking about installing it, I really would have liked to have seen it been able to be installed with the ports facing back, just because, you know, there's this extra cable mess here that nobody really wants to see or anything like that. But of course, power supply went in just fine. Let's go ahead and turn around to the back here. And if we look at the back, you can see there is a ton of cable mess. Now, this is a case where you won't have a problem if you don't tie them down. I haven't tied them down just yet, but you know, you can tie them down if you want. There are a lot of tie down points. Everything else, you know, you can pretty much just move over when you install your opposite side panel. As you can see, the CPU power opening, which I've been sort of ranting about this entire time, is covered up by our motherboard. Of course, CPU cutout too, so I could take off my CPU cooler without having to remove the motherboard. But let's go ahead, put both side panels on, and see if this thing turns on. Now it's that moment of truth when you go ahead and turn your system on. So let's hit power. And our system is turning on here. You can see our memory lighting up from the side panel, which I'll show you. So you can see our memory doing its thing over there. Of course, if you had any lights or anything like that, you will be able to see it from the side panel. Now, remember how we said this does have front panel LED fans? They are currently off right now. The fans are on, but the LEDs are off. You can just hit the button right here, and they turn on just like that. Looks really cool. Of course, you know, if we were in a darker room, it's gonna look even better. But that basically wraps it up here for our installation on Enermax's Ostrog GT case. It is a very good case. I do like it. There are a few things that I would like to have seen changed, but overall, a really good case. It's selling for about $74.99 right now online. Check back very soon on ThinkComputers.org as we'll have our full written review. And remember guys, if you like our videos, why don't you subscribe? Catch you guys later.